How's it going, everyone? Everybody hear me? We're good? All right. All right, Walter should be joining us shortly. How's everybody week's going? It's day one. All right, looks like Zed's having some trouble getting on. There's Sam. Welcome, Sam. How you doing, buddy? Jay's on. Let's see, we got Sam, Patrick, Billy, Heather's there, Mary Lynn, Susie. Susie, you're out there in Boise, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see here. Santa Lopez. Santa, where are you from?
I'm in Boston.
Boston. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Michelle up in Gainesville. And all right. Well, Walter will get to us when he gets to us. Let's go ahead and get started. First, we wanted to go over the first thing we were going to do today is we were going to go over the checklist that Mary Lynn has developed, and we have it published. If you're looking on Alchemist on the Alchemist Nation community pages for our information, we no longer have it called Business in a Box or Events in a Box. It is now under the title Alchemist Nation Leadership Training, I believe. Hold on, let me look that up real quick. Here it is. It's yes, Alchemist Nation. So I'll share my screen real quick. So if you go into our feed, and this is the Alchemist Nation community pages, you'll see over here on the left, Recession Proof Challenge, and right under that should be Alchemist Nation Leadership Training. This is the same as what it was. In fact, we didn't change this name yet. It still says Events in a Box, but we're slowly trying to get away from the Events in a Box name and getting it to Alchemist Nation Local Leaders, Alchemist Nation Leadership Training. And some of the other stuff that we're wanting to do is to, we've been talking about pushing all of our streaming and things, services into this location instead of onto Facebook. Because we have this location for our community and we tend to go to Facebook instead, and we want to draw more people into our community pages. And so to do that, we need to give you a reason to be here. And so one of the reasons to be here would be to access the recordings of our leadership meetings and the different Recession Proof Challenge meetings and things like that. But today we've asked Mary Lynn to go over the checklist with us, and feel free to stop and ask any questions if you have anything for her. But we are talking about the checklist for getting your stuff ready to host a meetup and what it takes to host a local meetup in your area. So Mary Lynn, if you'll go ahead and take that away.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. So I'm going to share my screen. Or basically, oh wait, you had disabled.
Let me give you.
You disabled my screen share.
Didn't disable it. I just never gave it to you.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. There we go. All righty. So this is still called Events in the Box course overview. And basically we've realigned everything so that it actually looks a little more parallel. So creating your event, marketing your event, preparing for your event, promoting others to your event, sponsoring your event. The one that we're going to look at specifically today is over here on the left, post-marketing checklist for your monthly event. And we have put this together for your benefit, different things that you can do 3 months out, up to 6 months out, 2 weeks prior, 1 week prior, all that is for you. So what I wanted to focus on specifically is this one, the 1 week prior to the event. Now it says workflows. If you don't have a workflow that involves a CRM, that's okay. You have a list of people who come to your event, and that list of people is your working list. So if you don't have a workflow, that's all right. Manually send out those reminder emails and let people know, remind people of your monthly meetup. Check with the speaker. Now, a lot of times, if you have slides, I mean, if you don't have slides, there might be a handout, some kind of something that for the speaker that you can help facilitate his or her speaking time. Check with the venue. You do not want last minute hiccups. So 1 week prior, if you're calling that venue, just to make sure, hey, have I got the space available? Is the time right? Do I have to, is there anything that I need to keep in mind? You can let them know if you want the seating arranged a particular way, let them know, or you can do it, show up ahead of time, tell them you plan to show up ahead of time to make that happen. Just anything you can think of, or anything you can think of to ask the person in charge of the venue would be good. And then if you have sponsors, contact your sponsors and verify that they are attending as well. If you need help, it would be a good time to ask. Could you help get folks checked in? So if you don't know of a volunteer who can be there to help people get checked in using your little QR code, you can ask one of your sponsors. If you don't have a sponsor, then yes, you do it yourself or ask for a volunteer. A lot of people are very, very willing to volunteer. I have found that is very true at our venues. If I need help, hey, can you make sure that as people come in that you show them the QR code? That's usually no problem at all. So, oh, and name tags. Another person I have volunteer often at our event is, making sure that everyone gets a name tag, because we all like to be addressed by name. So, all righty. And that's 1 week prior to the event. And those are the 4 specific things that you should do in order to get more people into your event. Any questions about that? Awesome.
That's pretty good. That was a pretty good example. Let's give Marilyn a round of applause. The checklist has been around for a long time, but now it's in a nice organized spot. Richie, I see your hand up, brother.
No, that's a son. That's a son of mine. I'm sorry.
You looked very astute. You're like, I've got questions.
Yeah, the sun's saying where I am.
Awesome.
So,
all right. Good.
Just wanted to bring out the fact that when you're looking at that checklist, this basically, and I'll go back to it real quick. So when you look at this checklist, these things 60 to 90 days and 30 to 60 days before the event, these are for those of you who have not yet created an event. This is what you need to do. You need to start your event 30 or 60 days out. Okay. Now we have some people that they only started their event on Eventbrite and Meetup 1 day before the event. And they actually got one person to their event. So that's good. But think of how many more you can get to the event if you start that event 30 or 60 days on Eventbrite and let that thing go. So this gives you a step-by-step guide to getting your event started. And then after that, then you're sort of into this cycle between the 1 week prior, and the night before event, morning of event, during the event. Just gives you step-by-step what to do, and right after the event. Like Marilyn said, if you have a CRM, if you have access to Alchemist Connect or a different CRM, a lot of this is just communication, and the communication can be automated. So take advantage of that. If you don't have a CRM and you want to get a trial to Alchemist Connect, we can get you hooked up with that and show you how to use it. So there's that. So and I just wanted to input just a little bit just about our leadership corner. one of the things that we've been doing as we go through this process is we've been going over leadership principles that we all need to be thinking about as you are Alchemist Nation leaders. We want you to be exhibiting the principles and the habits of good leadership and not fall into the bad habits of bad leadership. And that's one thing that's easy for us to do. It's really easy for us to get into or fall into habits of poor leadership because the poor leadership habits usually stem from either it's easy or it's human nature or just that's the way it's always been done. So when it comes to leadership tasks, it's important that we are very intentional about what we're doing as leaders of these events. And so one of the things that and this is really going to come into play when you have a sponsorship team. So I know a lot of you are just starting out as group leaders. And so the group is not very big yet, and you probably don't have sponsors, although that's what we're working on. You know, we're working on getting the group built up so that we can develop that sponsorship team and get that trusted team around us. But when you have that trusted team around us, we're going to start with masterminds, and we're going to start meeting as a group with our trusted team. And this is one of the things that one of the top 10 mistakes that leaders make is called dictatorial tendencies in decision making. Okay. And the idea is that you hoard decisions for, just one or two people at the top of an organization. And now I'm sure most of you have been exposed to this type. If you've been in corporate America, definitely if you've been in the military, you've been exposed to this. If you've been in corporate America, you've probably been exposed to this. Even small companies can get exposed to this because the owner, or the person who started the company thinks that, well, it's my company. I know everything. I know how it should be run, and this is the way it does. So, but some of the keys about that is that a dictator, they hoard decisions. They view truth and wisdom as primarily their domain. They restrict decisions to an elite group at the top, and they surprise their workers with edicts from above. Have you ever been working in a place and all of a sudden you were surprised because something changed and nobody told you and you didn't know about it, and now you're in trouble because you didn't do something that you were supposed to do?
Gary, are you talking directly to me? If this is a coaching for me, I am open and willing to learn.
Hey, bro, believe me, this is for me more than anyone. I promise you. So, and here's the thing. This goes for everything, quite honestly. And I will just share with you that while I'm really good at this with people that I'm not living with, this is where I get really bad in my own home. And then all of a sudden I surprise my kids with some decision that I made, just now. And that's not bad, or it is bad. And it's something that we should all work on. Leadership principles apply whether you're in the workplace or in the home. But what we want to search for, what we want to look for, is more of a facilitator type leadership. Okay. We need to understand that usually the best decisions get made on the front lines where the action is happening. Okay. So a facilitator delegates decisions. They involve as many people as possible. They view truth and wisdom as being distributed throughout the organization. All right. They're developers. They see people as their greatest resources for ideas that will bring success. They give people space to make decisions. And they let those who are responsible decide how jobs will be done. So the big thing to remember, and I'll just give you an example. We were talking in Tampa. Should we were running 3 separate meetups, and we have a meetup on a Monday, then we had a meetup on a Tuesday, and then we had a meetup the following Tuesday. And we were debating. We ended up combining 2 of those meetups just simply because we lost a venue. We had one downtown, and we ended up moving it to the same venue, and then it didn't make sense to put a meetup back to back, on the same different nights, but in the same venue. And so in our last mastermind for our local leaders in Tampa, I presented it to the group. And I'm like, hey guys, here's a decision that we need to make, and I want to get your input. And as a group, we decided that we're going to consolidate all the meetings into one meetup in Tampa so that we just have one meeting per month, a supersized meeting rather than several smaller meetings. So that's the type of, that's the type of things that need to happen in our groups, in our local groups. And I was just on the phone with a couple of our local leaders today, and I said, hey, this is great. We can make a decision right now, because right now it was me and Walter and a couple of our local leaders from Orlando. Dean was one of them. And I said, we can make this decision right now because we're the leadership team for this. But understand, when we get sponsors in, the sponsors are our trusted team, and that leadership gets spread out to more people. And so when it comes down to it, when we have a full team of sponsors, we're going to reapproach this and make a new decision based on what our sponsors want to do. So this is something that you want to think about whenever there's a tricky decision to make. And here's the thing. It's easier to make a decision as a dictator. Okay? Because the easiest committee to work with is a committee of two where one person doesn't show up. That makes decisions very easy, right? But it's not always the best. And the more minds that can be put to work, believe me, I've done this a lot, and it is much harder. The more people you get involved, the more discussion, the more, but what if, but what if, but what if. But I promise you that when you come to a final decision, and it's a decision, a joint decision by a group, you have more buy-in, you have more, it's just the impetus to make that happen, and everyone's bought into it. It's going to be a much more successful decision than if it's someone making that decision on their own. So just wanted to impress that upon you. One of the top 10 mistakes that leaders make are dictatorial tendencies during decision making. Don't let that happen. When you guys get a group, involve that group of leaders around you to make decisions for your meetups, and it's going to be much better. And now I'm going to demonstrate that. And I want all of you to be involved in a discussion, because we are having a problem that we need to work on together. So what I want to do is initiate a sort of a brainstorming session. You guys can use chat or you can unmute, and let's talk about it. But here's our problem. We have a problem in that we have a lot of people that look like they're checking in at our meetups. They will scan the QR code and begin the check-in process. But we know, because for the last month and a half, we've been getting verbal reports from our leaders. This is how many was in my meetup, and they're sending us the numbers. And then we look at the check-ins and we see how many people checked in. And many times it's 50% or less actually checked in. So what I want to do is initiate a discussion. What do you think we can do? What are some things that we can do to get people to complete the check-in process? And I'm going to leave it at that. And let's first unmute gets to make a suggestion, and let's have a roundtable discussion. Go ahead.
So you're talking to people exactly like me, who don't want to be on your mailing list, who don't want to be in your CRM, who just want to be there and meet people, but not necessarily be bombarded with your emails. So the only way to get me to check in is to have something where you're watching me check in. So if you have something where you're checking in with your phone and I can fake it, you're not going to get me checked in. You're going to have a piece of paper up front, and then you're going to have to punch it into your computer yourself the slow way.
Something that's that. Walter came to my meeting and he told everyone, I want you to check in because we're going to share the leads with everyone who wants business leads. And I think whoever heard that checked in on the spot. Some people didn't hear it because it was on a balcony. I made a flyer on a clipboard with a QR code. I just put check in. What if we put on the flyer to check in the paper QR code? Please check in so you can share in the leads. Advertise there, have the leaders tell everyone at the actual meeting when everybody's listening who wants to share in all the leads. And what Walter does, raise your hand. Who wants more leads? Everybody raise their hand. Then go ahead and check in so we can share them.
I like that clipboard, by the way. I was at Richie's event and the clipboard was easy to pass around. I have also seen the QR code laminated with like just plastic on either side. I think they do it a staple. I don't know how they do the magic, but yeah, it was easier to pass it around at Richie's event. And we were going around the room. This is what was cool. We were going around the room introducing each other, and we had the clipboard kind of following the person who had just spoken. So they talked, and then they got handed the clipboard, and they started, they scan and they put their information. So it was like social proof as we were kind of going around the room. Works for smaller groups, but yeah, great one, share, Richie.
Yeah, that would 40 people or more would be hard to do that, right? Too time consuming.
What if you had multiple clipboards? If you have 40 people, you should have some help. Have
Yeah, but-
5 things going around at the same time.
I think they'll still cheat, the ones who want to, like.
I like Jay's suggestion in the chat, text coordinator for further confirm. So Jay, can you unmute and just share what that means to you?
Well, yeah, confirming to say you're going to show up for, I think people are conditioned. It's like you're confirming to show up from a Zoom and you may or may not make it. But if it's a physical in-person thing for them, if they're really going to go, to let the coordinator, that's just common courtesy to let the coordinator know they're in fact going, and just for one extra step, or make it some sort of a button that it's automatic.
Okay, so this is registering to the event. So in advance of the event, that's actually good to send a text out in advance to confirm attendance.
Yeah, I mean, they're confirming that they're going, they've signed up. I don't know if there's another point in the process the day of that they are to further confirm, but it could simultaneously, let them coordinator know in person, like a one-to-one real human individual, this is who you're going to be meeting, to let them know that you're in fact going to show up.
I have seen, I know I've shown up to Gary's events because he texts me the day before. So I have actually literally gone to Gary's events because I received the text that said, hey, I have you as an attendee. Are you going to be there tonight? And I've been like, wow, Doreen, I guess I'm going to Gary's event. So that is a good one, Jay. And Michelle, can you text me your cell phone number? I just messaged you on Facebook. I'm going to connect you and Billy for a Dream Manager call. Just
Yes,
I would like to say something. What was I going to say now? Oh, at the bottom of the form that they fill out when they do the QR code, it says you are agreeing to allow us to blah, 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 right? I think that's why a lot of people don't finish it, because they really don't want it. So I don't know the solution. I'm just bringing that up.
I like that. That's a good point. And Sam Sky also says in the chat, what about having a giveaway, even a raffle from the check-in list, and them to check in to be eligible? I really like that. We actually talked about that today on
Sorry
our
about the bad grammar.
steering
I
call.
apologize about that.
It's all good, Sam. Dorina is Russian, so I read English in all forms. So I really like that. And one thing that Gary has warned me many times, so you probably never heard it, is we can't raffle anything off. But we can, however, Sam, we can do a drawing.
Yeah.
Raffling involves them putting money in. That's gambling. So we got to be careful with that. But we can absolutely do a free drawing, a free gift for those who check in. And I love that idea. Something we're going to be releasing to each of you is a 1 ticket per month to the 100 Millionaire Summit, which is being named differently. It's going to be the Business Real Estate Investors Summit that is coming up in Orlando in October. So you'll be able to give one general ticket away each event. And I just did this with Kingsley and Eric in Houston, and I looked at their check-in list with them, and I said, okay, like from the people who checked in, who do you want to win? We were like, well, who should I was like, let's make it random. Like, and we just picked one of the people who had checked in, and we said, okay, like who's going to call them and let them know they won. And so that was pretty cool because it got them the opportunity. And I'm just saying, randomize it, but you can also pick somebody you want to have a deeper relationship with and hang out with longer periods of time. You can also do it at the event. If you have the Lead Connector app, you'll see everybody who checked in at the event itself. And if you don't have Lead Connector, you can do it after the event and just let them know, hey, you might expect a text from me if you won, right? Just to contact you. So everybody who checked in, you're entered to win. Everybody who checks in today gets something for free is another option that Sam's got me going. Everybody who checks in today gets something for free. And you can send them your millionaire path. You can send them My Build Millionaires. You can send them names on deeds. You can send them somewhere along the process anyway. And just, it's a free gift for those who check in. We are currently not doing that at the national level. Like when somebody checks in, we just say, hey, congratulations. Like, well, welcome to the event. But we could automate it and say, here's some free stuff at alchemistnation.com. And that could be an incentive for them to check in. I haven't approved that. I guess we can put that to a vote. I don't want to vote on too many things today. Go ahead, Billy.
What's up, everyone? Good to see everybody. So I think like most things, there's never a singular solution for a single challenge, right? I think it's like a nice harmony of all these amazing ideas. But one thing that's pretty interesting that I was really thinking about the last couple of weeks, and it seems like now would be a good fit, just to mention it, I still have to think things through, is we can't raffle everything, but every single person in that meeting, they want exposure and they want attention. So if we do a really good job bringing attention to our private Facebook groups that we all, I think, have our own, right? We could not, I want to use the word raffle, but I mean, we could have, by checking in, you get an opportunity to be the business spotlight, right? So by checking in, and we do once a week, it's like XYZ Realtor is the business spotlight of the week, right? And in our Facebook group, we tag them, we give them, like their marketing and stuff like that, where all attention of our Facebook group is now on this one person. And again, as administrators of the group, we don't want it to be like a soliciting win for all. We then own it, right? Meaning I say, hey guys, this is Billy from Daytona. This is an awesome realtor. John, he won the business spotlight. I hope I give him some love and some likes. So that is of value because people go to events for the attention and the awareness. So again, I'm just speaking out loud. We have a lot to uncover with it if it seems like a good idea. But that's something as an entrepreneur, like I would check in if I have an opportunity to be the spotlight in a private group, local. So again, just because we're a team here, I'm just trying to talk things out, but that's been on my mind for a while as far as value add.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
I like it.
That's a
Yeah.
very good idea, Billy.
Suggestion. Oh, go ahead, Sam. Yeah.
No, that's a very good idea, Billy. Walter was saying pretty much the same thing, but I think that's the best idea so far. I think
Me
that
too.
that really connects with people and it really makes them feel special. And that was really good. I want to
And it'll drive more people.
half credit to Walter though.
Yes, always.
Good.
I don't know. I just typed that because Billy was already saying it. So
I didn't even
I
read
grabbed
that.
from Billy.
And it'll drive people to our groups because, it'll bring everybody there and, they'll look for themselves. And therefore, the group can get even more interacting eventually. I like that. Good
There's a
idea,
lot.
Billy.
I appreciate you, you amazing humans. But one thing that's pretty cool, again, if I'm taking too much time, please let me know. But because I have been thinking about this for a little bit, we want to make it insanely valuable. So not only do we spotlight them, but again, with our permission, right? Alchemist, of course, but I mean the team leaders, we allow them to do a free giveaway, right? As not being a sponsor, but they're winning this opportunity. So if it is XYZ chiropractic, right? We allow them on this one post that we control, that we schedule and set up. We spotlight them, we elevate them, and then in that one post, we allow them a free chiropractic adjustment, and again, fill in the blanks where you see fit. It's enough of a 10x value where I'd be like, absolutely take my name and email. I'm checking into this event. If that makes sense. Again, I'm still talking through it myself. So I appreciate you guys giving me the space, but I just feel like that's a cool value add for local business owners for sure.
Plus, it would get some of our local leaders to actually look at their Facebook pages once in a while, which I must admit, I have problems with myself.
I'm awesome at it. I'm in like all your pages, like all the time. So I will add, Sam put in the comments in the chat, he said, what about having sponsors and members offer things? So there can be a few items. I would donate 20 books to the groups to use. Other people could offer free 15-minute consultations, etc. And this actually goes back to something we used to do 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and a year ago, back when we used to run the mentorship program. And in the mentorship program, which was where a lot of what we do at the local level comes from, we had we had 8 coaches, and we had 8 weeks of training, and then we would get together once a week. And every week I'd tell everybody in the group, and we'd have 20 to 40 people in that group, for 8 weeks at a time. I tell them, you get one call with each one of the coaches. Now, these coaches, as you can guess, were realtors, mortgage brokers, financial planners, credit repair specialists, attorneys, and a business coach. And so when they were jumping on these one-on-one calls, this was really that coach's check-in session, a checkup from the neck up. They weren't really coaches. They were really licensed or certified professionals who also provided these kind of coaching services as a way to build a relationship. So the attendees, the community members, felt like they were getting coaching, like they felt like they were actually getting coached in the process. So that may be something that when somebody checks in, they automatically get inserted into your coaching program, where they get access to insert X amount of sponsors, free coaching sessions. And so I love all of this. And that really is reminiscent to going back to how we actually built Millionaires. We got them on calls with the professionals, asking all the questions you would ask a realtor, all the questions you would ask a mortgage broker, all the questions you would ask an attorney and a financial planner and a credit repair specialist. So it was like really helpful and valuable to them. And then later on, when they were passing referrals out, when they were doing their deals, they always used the people that they knew. So that is a lot of great suggestions. Let's give Gary Aker a round of applause. What a wonderful way to lead, and a wonderful lesson that I think all of us can walk away from this with. Gary, anything else on that topic? Do you think, who here feels like we came up with some great ideas today?
I had one other, when Sam offered, like said, I could give 20 books. It made me think, how many of our sponsors have books?
Yeah.
What if every one of our sponsors that's involved had 12 books? And so once a month we have this, not a book to give away, but a pack of books that are coming from our sponsors to people at our thing. So we have a bundle of books that's a giveaway. And that's incredible value, not just for the attendees, but our sponsors, because now when our sponsor who has a book calls that person and says, hey, I was just calling to follow up with you after the meeting, wanted to get to know you a little better. They're like, oh yeah, I got your book right here. Something like that. I think that would be a lot of value there.
I still have a bunch of books here at my house from the summit, from Billy, from Bill Reuter, Bill Allen. I've got Mark, Vinny Chopra. I got myself. I think I got some books from my brother. I got a bunch of books here that
I got Sam's book right here.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch we could probably pass out to the community leaders.
Can I throw out a quick idea?
Hell yeah, man.
Love Billy. I think that is amazing. I think you went back to Go Giver, where it's like, hey, what's the value, man? Like, what's the value proposition? And I think that's brilliant. And I was thinking, damn, why didn't I think of that? And I think I need to go back through that book again. But I was just thinking about that in the context of like how people are used to getting information now, is especially in this infotainment world that we're kind of in, and YouTube and all the things, right? I know I don't know who said it early on, and I apologize, I'm not giving proper citation here, but you're so right that you're getting a lot of business owners, and business owners don't like to be told what to do. Like, no one likes to be told what to do, but especially business owners. It's like our kryptonite, right? Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me I have to sign in. I don't want to sign in for nothing. I'm just going to see what I can get away with. So I think it's really, really, that's such a good point. And you're right, I don't know how to fix that. But if they're getting value, they'll sign up for something that they think is valuable. I'm just wondering if it makes sense to actually provide the value first and then say, hey, would you like to register? Or give them the option to register if they want in advance, and then give them the option again, say, hey, if you'd like more, it's really important that you register. It's really important that you complete the sign up process. So who did? Okay. Who didn't? All right. Hey, where am I? And you can make it funny. We're like, okay, where are my lone wolves? I know you're here. Where are you at? Okay. I know you didn't fill it out. Okay. You can make it fun and then call them out, and they'll be the ones like, yeah, I didn't fill it out. Right. Because they want that attention. They want that to know that everybody, they're independent thinkers. All right. Look, if you want more info, if you want more of this valuable stuff, so much more value, just just fill it out. It'll be a 2-minute thing. I just think there's another way. Like, again, it's like you show them the value and then it's that law of reciprocity. I think that's how you do it. So just food for thought.
Well, the event in itself is the value you're offering, whether they sign up or not. The networking opportunity in that event is the value you're offering, whether they sign up or not. It's the incentive to get them to sign up that we're working on brainstorming for now.
To get them there, or to like once they're there.
Once
They're there.
Right. What I'm saying is, like, you offer it after it's been a while. So there's obviously, you get them there and you're trying to get them to sign in, and when they first get there, I know if I haven't seen the value yet, I will not want to do that. That's just me, not suggesting it's all. I'm saying give them an opportunity later on as well to say, okay, hey, is it you having a great time? Who's not signed in? Who's not, so I'm saying do it in the beginning, absolutely. And then maybe do it as a pattern interrupt, maybe 2/3 of the way through. Just
Mark, I may be misunderstanding, and Andre, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Andre was distinguishing the difference between incentive and value.
Got it.
Is that what you were saying, Andre?
I think I may have misunderstood him to start with.
Okay.
Because he was saying give value first and then have them sign up. And so I was thinking, like, he was talking about give out the books to people, whether they signed up or not, and then ask who signed up if you want more. So I think I was just misinterpreting what he was saying to start.
right.
Gotcha. I heard incentive and I heard value, and I heard two different things. So I just thought there was I think they're both different and they're both important.
Agreed. I like it. Go ahead, Susie, and then I want to
Susie.
call out Michelle. Yep.
What I've had success with at events is I've had little pieces of paper next to the door prize jar. And so as they come in, have them register for the door prize. And then usually everybody signs in for that.
Very
that's where-
subtle, isn't it? It's here's the thing you're gonna get, here's the check-in form, put 2 and 2 together. Oh, fantastic. I love that, Susie. You can always find wisdom when you look at a person, like, you can just tell by Susie, she's like a very efficient person. She's got the black, she's got the earrings, she's well put together. You can tell she's found an easy way to accomplish something without having to say much. Susie, have you raised children? I feel like you have that about you.
Yeah.
Very smooth. I think that's a fantastic, there's so many fantastic solutions. I think we're delivering a ton of value, and by organizing it in a meaningful way, that could be one of the clinchers to the process, is like putting the gift, the goal, the present right there. Michelle added, has anyone had success with having the check-in person make sure they see the thank you page after they check in, or is that too much work? Michelle, as a check-in person, and that's, by the way, when I show up at your events, that's usually the role I take. I'm usually at the front, just adding that support, making sure people are checking in, having that fun, because that to me is the most leveraged position. Like, getting the people in the front, having a conversation with them. I always wait for that thank you page. And while they're filling it in, I'm incentivizing them with why. Hey, there's going to be, we're going to give a ticket away at the end of this, and there's some free stuff that we're going to give to everybody who checks in. So check in. Don't worry, we're not going to email you. The newsletter is 1 time a week, and it's usually tremendous value, like a lot of free stuff in there. So like during that, I'm always looking for the thank you page, because I know people tend to give up on it because our form is a little bit long. And the reason our form is long, because I know the easiest way to fix this is just to put less on the form. But the reason the form is long is it gives you the information you need on that person to find out where they came from, what their goals are, who they are, and it's going to help in the long term. So even though we're putting a little more work on ourselves to make sure they're filled out, when they are filled out, it's significantly easier for you to build rapport and like go deep with them later on. So there are easier ways, but I love that, like, watch to the thank you page, and just at the front, it's like, hey, by the way, we're going to give you some really free stuff. We're going to give you some cool stuff, free stuff. And don't worry, we don't email, text. We're just going to send you one text with the free stuff, and we're send you a weekly email with a newsletter with a bunch of valuable stuff. And we're not going to charge you anything for this. You're never going to try to sell you. You can do Susie's thing. We just stack. By the way, maybe Marilyn, we can pull all of the value stack, everything that a person would get when they check in. You know, alchemiststation.com, your millionaire path, 50 weeks of wealth, chance to win the summit ticket, and free one-on-one with highlighted expert coach of the month. Maybe that's the next level we go with our sponsors, is we give them the chance to have a call with one of our highlighted coaches, highlighted experts. I know for me as a sponsor, I love that. Awesome. Good.
I've experienced, Walter and Gary, where people did show me the thank you, they did it, but they didn't do it all.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. People
Oh,
are
they didn't fill everything out, right? They just went to
Right.
the page.
you
That's
don't
good.
know once you see the thank
I
you.
mean, that's
What are
you're
you gonna
right. You're
do?
right. I mean, at that point, that's damn good. That's impressive.
People do that. People are tricky.
Yeah, there's only so much we can do. I think within our power, though, if a person's avoiding being contacted by us,
They don't
that
want
may change by the end of the night, right? By the end of the night, after they've gotten some value from the event, that may change. They may say, "Hey, you know what? I didn't fill all that out. Let me. I didn't realize there was something free coming to me. Let me go fill that back out again." And I've been that guy, by the way. You know, I've been that guy who's gone in, snuck in, heard about the free stuff, and was like, "Oh, damn, that's different. Like, let me go check in. How do I check in?" Show fans, have you ever been that person before? So
Yeah,
that's where,
I
you know,
actually-
Mark's pitch of, before we get started, by the way, I know a lot of people don't check in. Just so you know, this is what you get when you check in. It's this. We're never going to email or text you. There's one newsletter that goes out weekly. It's valuable. And in that, you're getting this. So when you check in, you know, if you know, you'd missed it, go do that before we get started. Like, you can go get that checkout now or pass it around, right? Super valuable.
Just so you guys know, if you're using the new check-in system, which all of you should be, the only thing that they can leave blank on that to check in is what is your profession. First name, last name, email, and phone number, and how did you hear about this event are all required entries. So the only thing they can leave off is what they do. And we did that just in case. I mean, it's pretty good, but just in case they can't find what they do on there, they can still leave that off. And we're not signing them up for the Alchemist Nation newsletter when they check in. So
Oops.
what
Okay, they're not getting that then.
Yeah, they're not getting that. So the one thing that I tell them is the only thing you're going to get from me is a reminder about the next meetup. And then I'll ask them, I was like, we have these other meetups. If you'd like to be added to that, let me know and I can add you, but I'm not going to add you unless you ask. So and I tell them exactly what they're going to get. You're going to get an email a week before, and then an email 4 days before, followed by a text message, and a text message 2 days before, and a text message day of. That's because that's the way my reminder system is set up for them. So just that's all. It's and I don't even think it says on here that they're signing up to be marketed to.
So
So
that's even perfect, like even
Yeah.
better. Like, we're not emailing them, we're not sending them anything.
we're just sending them
text and a
reminders.
reminder.
And
Yep.
and I do tell my group too. I said, hey, we discuss you and your needs with our sponsorship team. So you might get a phone call from one of our sponsors saying, hey, is there anything I can help you with? We're here to help. But so I prep them for that so that our sponsors are not making a cold call. They're making a warm call. So, and I ask them in the meetup, would that be okay with you? Most people are like, yeah, that sounds cool. So anyway.
I like it.
I have a question. When they're there at the meetup, don't they get a thank you for signing up or thank you something? Do they still get those?
I believe that thing, let me see when it's set to go. I think it's set to go
2 times, I think.
I think it's set to go like an hour after they check in. We need to have it set. We were actually, Walter was talking about this, that we need to set that to go right away after they check in.
Yeah, if we can add that to the agenda, I like to get that immediate, because I was on my way home from Orlando and I got that text. And I was like, who the F is this? And then I realized it was my own text, and I was a little frustrated with that. So it should have been, I signed in, got a text, said congratulations. That I would have understood mentally, but to get texted, you know, at 9 o'clock at night after I had shown up to the event late, like it was very uncomfortable for me. I was like, who did I give my number to that is texting me at this late? Like, it's crazy. So
No, it's supposed to go immediately.
okay, so that's
right after they sign in.
updated.
So
Perfect.
that may have been an old one. The old one
And
delayed it.
my people get it twice from me. Can that be corrected? They like hear it 2
We'll
times.
get that fixed.
Like 2
They-
times in a row. Like I think my name is in there 2 times or something's messed up.
In fact, let's make sure that's fixed for everybody who's on this call. If you can go use your QR code, just scan it, check in so that we can make sure that what is being
Yeah, I'll
sent out
check
to your
it.
people, you've beta tested it. Just check in, scan it. One of the best things we can do is test our own stuff before we have other people go out and use it. We've
Yeah.
tested our QR codes, but we haven't always tested all of our automations, especially at your local level. So please test them. If you don't get a text right away, let us know also. That's another good thing to check. Cool. Yeah, a lot of valuable stuff. I want to tease out some of the improvements we're making. So don't hold me to any kind of deadlines. If you remember, Elon Musk was talking about making a robotic Tyrannosaurus Rex. That still hasn't happened. He's also, for 20 years, we're talking about going to the moon, going to Mars. So I just want to point out that sometimes CEOs make promises that they think in their head are really possible and easy to do. And then later on, it turns out that some of these things take a lot of time or money. But I will tease out that one of our goals, this is something that Gary's leading up, is a directory for our sponsors and our trusted team members, so that when a person is looking us up online, instead of our sponsors and our team always having to contact and call the local, like the attendees, it'd be nice if there was also an easy way for them to reciprocate. If they were looking for an attorney and they could just go online and see who's the attorney in Tampa, that would be a lot easier for them. So that's a feature. One, it's going to benefit our sponsors and make it a lot easier for them to be seen and known. I think that's a benefit to them as marketing, but also it's a benefit for the attendees. So if they're in that process, and especially if we start talking more about, hey, you get a free coaching call with anybody on this list in this directory, it's like, wow, like I should just go onto that directory and get access to my coaching calls that I am owed, right? So it makes them feel like they're owed something because they showed up, because they gave their contact, and that could help our sponsors get some more contacts. When I was running the mentorship program, I told everybody, hey, look, this is my Monday night call. I told them, you already paid for it. You get a coaching call with each one of our members. Make sure you schedule one today. Schedule it this week. And I never had to schedule those calls. It was just automatic. They knew where the directory was. They went on and they scheduled. For what we're doing here, it's a little more complex because each city has its own directory. But there are ways to do it, and Gary's been leading that up and working on getting it to that point. Also, Alchemist Nation's website has been updated and is continuing to be updated. We're making it simpler for a person to just go to Alchemist Nation instead of having to go to Your Millionaire Path, having to go to I Build Millionaires. They can just go to Alchemist Nation itself, and all of the links that they normally would use to do their path, to get their free coaching. And then the next part is the directory. And we've added now find their local events. So that feature is available on the website. And the next one will be adding the directory so that they can go there. And I'll give you more promises. Here we go. So we're also looking to get the net worth tracker on the website so that a person can go and do their net worth right inside the site. And ideally, this is when we're really good, they should be able to come back to it month after month and follow their own progress. Very similar to what mint.com used to do. We have no clue how this one's going to happen, but we know that this is our ambition and we really want to make things easier. So that's another one on the list. And the list is big. I have a lot of things that we want to do for the community. But for right now, it's really about making it simpler for us as leaders. And one more thing. I'll just give you one more. We're working on a care package that we send out to our leaders. Once you get your first sponsor on, we want to be able to send out a banner that has your logo on it, your event logo, Alchemist Nation on it, so that you can better prepare and better brand your event. And with the second sponsor, I think the package is going to include t-shirts, like things that you can wear, like what Gary's got right now. So we look more professional, we look more branded. And probably some books from some of the coaches. We're going to get some of the coaches to make sure that books are sent out so you have things to give away. Those are projects on the docket, none of which are solidified or done, but they're a work in progress. And there's one other, there's an AI that we're working on inside Alchemist Connect that will be able to follow up with your leads, and anybody who attends, it will be able to just book a call with you and kind of schedule. That one's further off and yet super close at the same time. We have no clue when that one will be done. It's close. It's like a lot of fun and really close, but we don't know if it would work on every profession and at every event level. But these are projects that we're working on, and as soon as they're completed, we'll be able to release them into your accounts, and it should help you connect with more people more easily with a more clear focus. Your success is really tied to how many people know, like, and trust you, and how many people keep coming back for the juice, for the sauce, for the special recipe that you've put together at your local event. It's your smile, it's your team, it's the venue you choose is all part of what makes your event special. The speakers you bring in, they add to what a person tells their friends is going to be the topic. And sometimes your attendees, I promote a lot of our events just by who's going to be in the room, right? I'll tell people in advance that, oh yeah, Dina's going to be there, or, Victor's going to be there, or Billy's going to be there. And I just talk about the people who I know for sure will be in the room. And I say, hey, by the way, this person just confirmed with me. And that's a lot of the content I create. Who's going to be at the summit this year? Here's somebody who just bought my VIP ticket. They're going to be a VIP. So, make sure you spend some time with them. This is what they're good at. Promoting the people in your event is, to me, the easiest type of content there is, especially if you like them. If you like your people, you like your attendees, your sponsors, just talk about them and let people know that they're going to be there. You can do it via text. You can do it via calls, right? When you talk, oh, by the way, make sure you're there. I want to introduce you to this person. All of this is just natural. It really is natural. It just, it comes with thinking about the value of the people in the room, and you being one of them. Hey, I can't wait to see you at the next event. Sometimes hearing that is enough to get me to show up. Like, damn, like, okay, you want to see me? I guess I'll be there. Maybe I will. So thank you so much for the vote today. Let's give Gary one more round of applause. My man, I learned so much in these calls. I am so thankful. Let's give Billy and Mark a round of applause. Great value. Each one of them is reaching out to their leaders. And Michelle, did you text me your cell phone number? Because I texted you mine. All right, cool. I'm going to connect you with Billy. In that case, cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best. For those of you who do want to hang out at the Tampa Mastermind, we're about to do that at 6 o'clock. So if you want to see how our mastermind goes, we pass out leads.
Hold on, I'll get you a link.
Awesome. So this is what we're looking to do in your event. So as you gain your team, as you get your sponsors and your team is in the area, we want to be able to pull the list and split out the list. And we're going to show you how that's done in Tampa. Tampa is still beta testing. This will be our 4th week getting together. Each week we get a little bit tighter and the list seems to go a little bit faster. We're so thankful that people check in because it makes it a lot easier for us to do this.
Should be shorter today because we don't have new contacts. We didn't have any meetups this past week. So we'll just be discussing the contacts we've already made and what's going on with them. So
a much easier call. Yeah. First week is always a lot more intensive because 30, 40 new contacts, but second week is a lot easier. Awesome. In that case, link is in the chat. That is the link for the Tampa Mastermind. If you have time, jump in with it.
Starts in 8 minutes.
Perfect. Louisa, do you have a question? Louisa, do you have a question before we jump off? No. All right. Just want to make sure. And if anybody does have a question, get us inside the Mighty Networks. We answer all sorts of questions in there. I get notifications through that. Unlike all the other platforms, I don't get notified from. The Mighty Networks, I do pay attention to. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.
Thank you. Great meeting.
Yeah. Thanks for the collaboration.